Well, good morning, guys and gals. It is another beautiful morning, and I'm back with you today to give you another little snapshot of the move and breathe and the importance of having this habit. Now, again, I'm doing this on purpose every day because this is a habitual thing. This is a practice. It's part of a morning routine, or if you had to do it some other time of the day, fine. But you need a routine, you need a set of things that you do every single day because you're after something incredibly important for your own life and for everybody around you. It is critical that you find your purpose. Now, anciently, the word purpose there means pure position. See, because what we believe biblically is that you're on this planet for a purpose by the one who designed the planet and the person that you are, and he did that with foreknowledge. In other words, he knows what he placed within you. I've heard it said that God starts with a dream and then builds a human around it, and that dream is a unique ray of light. It's a prism of his diadem, the beauty of his splendor coming through with one ray, one unique expression of God's glory. Saint Irenaeus was famous for quoting that God's glory is seen when man comes fully alive, or something to that effect. That's basically the statement. And Christianity traditionally has done a horrific job, or I don't know if it's all the way back, but I know in my lifetime, in the past 100 years at least, we're like clueless about our purpose. The only thing Christianity kind of presents as a purpose, it seems, is, oh, you're supposed to be a pastor, there's your purpose, and that's the only thing we promote. It's just ridiculous. And so this is why it's so critical today that you have a morning routine in which the move and breathe is a part of it, because you've got to integrate and find and walk out and live in your pure position, your purpose. Because that's what the world needs right now. It needs to see God glorified through a life that's in alignment with the one who created it all, with foreknowledge. That's Ephesians 2:10, meaning that you're here to do something, to be a part of something in a unique way. You're expressing through what you do the beauty of the one who made you and his purpose for you. And we've got to find that today. It's critical that we find that today. Now, here's one of the reasons why. We live in a nation now that has collectively bought into evolution. Evolutionary thought is in nearly every movie that you watch nowadays. You're going to hear some reference to the fact that we are, whatever we come from, we evolved from this thing, and it's just sold as a hook, line, and sinker. This is what it is. Nobody's even debating it anymore. It's just spoken. And what that does is there's something called assumptive language. Assumptive language is like it's like the Trojan horse in Greek days. The Trojan horse, was pushed in, and it was a big statue, a wooden statue they'd made, but all the warriors were inside it. So when the people received it as a gift, that Greek city, at night, all those warriors unloaded out of the Trojan horse and defeated the city from the inside out. So assumptive language is a statement of faith that you buy into without really thinking about what it says. And what it does is it unloads in your system, and from the inside out just completely disables you. And so the assumptive language that we hear today concerning evolution means that when you swallow the fact, it's not a fact, it's a lie, but if you were to swallow the belief that we come from, slime or whatever, and we evolved through millions and millions and millions of years, what you're essentially saying is that you are a purposeless being, because that's what it means. Now, atheists and others who believe in evolution in that manner will concede that people have to have a purpose. I mean, this is not something that they'll even argue. They say, yeah, you got to have a purpose, and they'll promote, you get a purpose. But see, they call it proximate purpose. Okay? That means that you have to make one up because you need it to thrive and to do well and to be whole and all those types of things, because we know it. It's just like, duh, you have to do that. So they make one up, and yet they try to hold in that. Why? Here's the thing. Why do we need a purpose? Where did that come from? Who decided that? If we're just just happenstance and we're just here for no reason necessarily at all, because that's what evolution is, that's what it says about us. And only the strong survive. There's no purpose. There's no overarching anything. There's no reason to be here, is what it says. So see, the Trojan horse issue there is that when you swallow evolution, you are living so far out of alignment within something that is innate within us. See, we were created for purpose, on purpose, with a purpose, from the one who has purpose and who is above it all, who transcends it all, who transcends the sun and way, way beyond that. And see, so when you swallow in an evolutionary thought like that, you're disabling yourself. And so when the masses receive that type of thinking, they've already got everything set against them. All of this fallen world is again, we've talked about this, it's going to crumple them up like a piece of paper and throw them aside. And they're basically believing, I don't have a purpose anyway, so what's this all about? Let's just end it. And that's what happens. People live a zombified life in which they do not know who they are, what they are, why they're here. They live without foundation. They live without a true north passion or purpose that can help them stand up and be strong and walk and impact this earth as we were created to. Genesis 1:27-28 is the creation mandate. We're here to care for this incredibly powerful planet, to take care of it, to develop it, to create, to be the stewards of. That's what we're here for. And so when you fall short of understanding your purpose on that level, just life becomes too difficult. And so finding your passion, that's also, in other words, that's spoken of anciently. It means the literal there is the passing of ions. When you find that passion, that thing that brings you to life, that thing that you love, that's your passion and your purpose are right there together. The passing of ions is a scientific term. Ions is just an atom or a molecule with a positive or negative charge. And it has to do with electricity because we're electrical beings. That's what we know about our physical temple now, our body. It's the ionic electrical power, the moving of electricity through us. We know scientifically now that when a person steps into the zone, so to speak, in other words, they're living out that purpose, that passion, that thing they love, they're doing that hobby or whatever it is they love to do, and they come to life. Time flies when you're in the zone doing that thing you were made to do. And that's what we have to have today, guys. Christians especially. We must be after that one thing. Remember that old Billy Crystal movie? It kind of was a big deal back in the 80s, I guess, late 80s. Sort of a midlife crisis movie where Billy Crystal and his buddies, they're just in that part of life where, it's like, what's this all about? I'm in this dead-end job I don't like. I'm completely unfulfilled. And so they go on this cattle drive, and that's what they find on that cattle drive is what's the one thing, that one thing. Benjamin Franklin was misquoted by saying that, you ought to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. That is a misquote. His true quote is be a jack of all trades, but a master of one. See, there's one thing, especially and specifically. And that's not to say you can't have a few, but you need to find that one thing that is your passion. It's a preordained thing that you love And again, Khalil Gibran says, your work is love made visible. You've got to find that thing, because for a Christian, when you find that thing, what you're doing is you're finding your Ephesians 2:10 life in Christ. He made you. When you come to Him in relationship and intimacy and you ask Him, why am I here? What's my mission underneath the mission of Jesus? What is my mission? What am I to do? And we have failed in teaching about vocation in the church, failed miserably. Because you're not here just to go walk around talking about Jesus all the time. You're here to do something, to produce something, to make something, to provide a service. And that's the beauty of free enterprise. You know, the founding fathers had an understanding of an economic system. See, they came out of a mercantile, isn't it mercantile? I might have that wrong, but it was an economic system in which they just believed that there was just so much here. It was a sort of a pie mentality. It's a scarcity model of economics, in which, you know, once you have a country, well, you're going to have to steal something. You're going to have to get gold by force. You're going to have to take what they have. And that was their economic model. It doesn't work because it doesn't line up with this resource-rich planet and our ability as humans, as image bearers, to take rich resources and develop them and multiply them and make something out of something raw. And so they came up with free enterprise. You know, people like John Locke, who wrote on this over in Europe right before their time, they were looking at his thoughts and thinking, yeah, that's what this is. You know, humans are such that if they walk with their Creator and they find their passion and they give themselves to this idea that the planet is a rich, resourced environment in which when we use wisdom and self-discipline and innovative thinking and creativity and faith, we can make stuff. We can make it. And that even everybody in a society has that one thing to deliver that is a service or a product that's worth paying for. See, that's what free enterprise is. That's the beauty of it. And you better get on to this today, because the industrial model that we have lived with for a long time is over. It's over. The industrial model says that a machine is the resource. That is a lie. The greatest resource on planet Earth is you. A human is the greatest resource. But if a human is ignorant to who he is, what he's here for, and what he can do, then that human will be convinced by a fallen world and a real enemy who steals, kills, and destroys with wrong thinking and planting lies. They will just lose purpose, lose passion, lose the desire to live, or become so in pain that they just want to take out, they just want to hurt. And that's where we are today. We're seeing a society crumble because people are just out of their passion, they're out of their purpose, they don't even believe there is one, and they're like, what's this all about? They'll forget it. They get into nihilism. It's a real thing, nihilism. Purposeless anger. And they take it out on other people. And see, so Christianity must be the ones who live out the fact that I'm on this planet to find my one thing. See, that's the parable of the talents. That's what the parable of the talents says in the gospel. Jesus taught it. That you've got talent within you that is to be developed. A talent's a money in Scripture, but it symbolizes, it's a metaphor for your uniqueness, your gifting. And God says, I'm going to hold you accountable for that thing, because if you're on this planet to unpack that and then to put the needed skills around it so that you find convergence in life. We know we don't get to just do that right out of the gate. You got to develop discipline. You got to develop discipline that says, I got to do what I got to do when I got to do it. But you should be on your way in life to finding that one thing, so that in America, as blessed as we are, we have free enterprise. you can find your purpose and your passion, and you can do it and get paid for it, and everybody will be cool with it because it's worth it. It's worth the money. See, so that's what we can do here, but you've got to find it, and you're going to have to do some work to do that. You're going to have to get up every day and ask the Lord, seek His face for your purpose on this planet. You're going to have to tap into your passion so that your body stands up and those ions are moving with electrical charge, and so you come to life and you do what you love to do and you get paid to do it. See, that's purpose. And that's why the move and breathe is so critical, because this is part of that process of daily seeking, daily looking at what do I have to do? What do I have to develop? Where do I need to go? Am I in touch with the one who made me? And am I integrating this vision that He shows me? Hey, this is in you. Follow this. Develop this. Put in the time and effort. Get yourself in a position by the time you're 35, 40, where you are walking in the majority of your time through the week is doing what you love to do, what brings you to life, what makes you want to be better at it and more excellent. See, that's how God's glorified. When a person could say, I know the one that made me. I don't believe in evolution. I know the one that made me. I'm walking in innate principles that are there. Purpose is a principle that's there. A person has to have it. And I'm walking in it. I've found it. I've developed it. And as I do it, the world is blessed around me and God is glorified because I'm saying it came from Him. And I'm pointing others to Him. And I'm building the kingdom while I do it. And I'm representing Him well. And I'm standing in a creation mandate of Genesis 1:27 and 28. And man coming fully alive is glorifying God when that takes place. So the move and breathe is a portion of that. I'm going to repetitively go over this and over this and over this because repetition is the mother of skill. And it's something for you to do. So in other words, I'm doing this daily because I want you to do it daily. You got to get out and move and breathe. And again, the principles of health behind that are immense. You got principles of health that have to do with air, with sunshine, with water, with whole foods, with relationships, and how your relationships are, and with purpose. I mean, there's principles. You can't violate them. If you violate these principles that are what they are, you're going to suffer. And like I said, we live in a fallen world that's very powerful. If you violate too many principles in which it's based upon and built upon, you will suffer as much as you would suffer from jumping out of a 5-story building and letting gravity, which is a principle, have its way with you. See, you've tried to violate a principle and you lost. Now you got broken legs and you're in intense pain because you just tried to violate something that is. You can't violate these things, folks. You've got to get in alignment with them. And as a Christian, you should know the one who made the principles. He should be the one telling you and explaining those principles to you in a way that you would obey Him. Christianity is way more than opening your Bible and memorizing some verses. It's time that we open up our eyes and our hearts and our minds and get whole into our purpose for being here and become more skilled, more wise, more informative, more educated than anybody else on this planet. We're the ones who know the one who made it all. How in the world can we be ignorant to what He made? And yet that's what we are, and that's what the world sees that we are, and it's time for it all to stop. And I want to be a part of that. That's part of my passion. That's part of my mission. And that's the one God's called me to, and that's why I'm doing this video. And I hope you can feel that electricity as it's passing through my voice, because I'm in it right now. I am in my passion. And I'm going to do it until God says my days are done. And it's just the best way to go. And I'm promoting it for everybody. So find it, live it, love it, and glorify God while you do it. Bless you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.